There I am. Good morning. I am in a couple of things here that I thought I could show y'all. Well, let me figure out how I'm going to do this real quick. So I've got, this is the orb trade that I took on the other stream. So I still have that going on. Let me see if I can put this other trade on here. How do I do this? Let's see. I can go to this. Go to ES. Yeah, there we are. This is an ES trade I have going on. I'm kind of itching to move my stop kind of at this point. Let's see if I do that. There y'all are, Boba and Hunter. This looks ridiculous on the stream. Let me pull this down. I'm watching VIX come down still on, let's see if I can move this guy down here. This guy. Wait, this guy. The orb has been yawned since the video came out, I swear. It was kicking ass before that. And it'll probably kick ass if I give up on it. That's how the trade works. Or how trading works, not this particular trade. But I didn't want to start this trade on the stream because I think it's going to take longer if it works, but I do have this one going on. Yeah. I love it when they hit early in the morning. The orbs just tend to not hit early in the morning when we're in this consolidation. I was a little bit worried about that, like putting it out coming into summer. I was actually trying to get that out like a month ahead of that, but because I actually do homework, it wasn't ready. Yeah, as long as we have the VIX still coming down, I'm gonna hang on to this one. So this is an ES trade. I put it on that chart that has all the dang things on it, but that's okay for now. It's the one I have shared. Oh no, yeah. The reset game is a little crazy. Some people seem to be there just literally for the reset codes and not like give a crap what else is going on. But we'll see. Maybe they'll let us give some to like loyal viewers. I wish there was a way that they could see like who shows up every day and then filter it out that way. Because then we could filter out, like, I've seen that guy. I actually see him. He talks. But if I can see what a cluster it is on the back end when they don't have anybody, or you don't have a way to contact them, because then they have everyone saying, oh yeah, that was me. I won that on the YouTube. That was me. And then they have to like check up on that. It shouldn't be somebody's full-time job to figure out who won giveaways. That's not gonna work. Listening to your numbers being said helps a lot when watching your charts. What do you mean? Like when I call out the numbers, the levels? I do, especially on NASDAQ when it's like all squished up. I think it's really, really hard to see what's going on. Plus, I monitor when I'm watching the stream back. I do have like the back end of it, so it's completely up to time and everything. But it's this big, and I can't see. Hey, Abhishek. Yeah, ICT stream going on. We're trading only ICT concepts today. So we are hitting that level on ES. I just have to protect this even though I don't want to. Did I take it off the screen here? This one? I messed with my stream deck. I should not have done that. Yeah, there it is. I don't need the full stop on this anymore. It's either gonna get bored and come back down or keep walking up. Yeah. Now you can't see how much the stop is either. Ha ha. There's the ICT crew. Yeah. I'll keep making sure I call out the numbers. Sometimes like, well, Luke used to call me out. He's like, what are those levels again? I'm like, I think I just said it. Did I not just say it? So I'm trying to make sure I always do. Victor wants a sell off. Well, Hunter's here for my shoe size. See what Victor's here for. I mean, if Hunter's buying expensive shoes, maybe he should know my shoe size. I'm also in some calls and I've just been like, can we get CPI over with? Because I'm right where like maybe I should take profit. He doesn't buy me shoes, so it's a need to know situation. I mean, this is like a really boring day, but you know, see if we can get something going. I'm just here in case the breakout happens at this point. You know, I like the walk up idea. So it could like be a slow-mo breakout. That's okay too. I don't know what is going on with my music over here. I wish there was a way that YouTube would let you play, like have a DJ list going here. I turned monetization on, but I don't have it running ads. That's the case I would just want to punish you with ads, I guess. We'll see what that one does. You would like to indexes to quit shopping? I feel ya. But I've talked about this a lot. We were spoiled with these major ranges. I mean, I never really imagined trading a 600 something point day on ES, but that happened. So I think part of it's we're spoiled. Some of us were used to trading this crap. And I mean, it's still kind of annoying because we're going to have to start sizing up and going for smaller things if it stays like this. But I will say that during the summer, this is kind of normal where it's kind of like you're singing the market some lullabies a little bit, but if I know everyone says like, oh, the algos are always running the market, but there's people pushing the buttons, and if people are on vacation, they're not pushing the buttons. Not to say we can't get plenty of things. I've had some massive trades over the summer, but they're usually more patient trades. I've made a lot swing trading SPY and things, just waiting for the right moments, because once it settles in, it can kind of settle into some nice patterns. But I did size down because one of my goals, this was a weird year to pick this. In hindsight, it's like, that didn't make any sense at all. But my plan was to start increasing the risk that I take. That was just a major issue for me last year. It's like I had lost more money than I was okay with losing at a point. And so I pulled everything back, and then building it back up has just been really hard. So that was part of why I've been trying to get more into the prop firms and add some leverage that way. But I've still been kind of slow moving on it, but part of it was I didn't have my leverage right. So I might have been able to take a few ESs on a trade a year ago and go after 20 points and have a 10-point stop or something like that. But having a 10-point stop when the range for the day is going to be 80 ES points, it doesn't really work out as well when I'm doing a slower like this, where it's like kind of a more walk-up trade. So I sized down, and then when the market starts slowing back down again, I'm really going to have to add size. But yeah, the prop firms is like kind of my plan, because first I was thinking, oh, I just need to increase my account size and, you know, let it up. I keep my account, my futures account pretty small. I keep withdrawing like whenever I get an opportunity. But because I'm really big on making sure I'm always net positive. I bootstrapped all my businesses before that. So I kind of have the same mentality where I just want to get my money back right away and then keep pulling money out as much as I can. Oh yeah, so I'm mostly using my funded futures. I have the link should be in there but the coupon code is 𝗿𝗶𝗿𝗁, which is, if you're new, 50% off most things. Not they have the cheapest plan. Oh crap, it just stopped me out. Well, they have the cheapest plan on there, and then they have the one after that, and I think it counts on the one after that and up. It's just not giving me the breakout today. Ah! I wanted it. Are we stopped out on the orb? Let me go see. Nope. I can put that one up. Let me switch accounts on my screen over here. So yeah, like this orb trade, since I'm trading it live on my funded futures, I've been putting it into my funded futures account. But this has been like the most boring trade. What I did earlier on my other account is I love kind of buying VWAP when it gives us the opportunity. This candle was kind of scary, but I was watching, it just kept hovering in the top end of the orb box, the top half. And then I bought VWAP off of it and got a couple of these little pops. It was still kind of an annoying trade. I mean, I wasn't going for that much and I was still having to risk this whole bit, but sometimes it's like, is this even worth the effort? And before I was like kind of forced to stream every day, I was just avoiding all this. But I guess I've been trying to work better on my my dealing with or adapting to chop skills. And I was trying to figure out this trading competition thing yesterday. I haven't been messing with it so much today, but I want to understand how this all works. So we're doing the 3-day one next week, but I want to do another one in July now that, because they asked me all these questions. They're like, here's all the settings you can have. What do you want? And I was like, I don't know. So I decided to keep it really simple on this one, but we might open it up. I'm thinking gold and crude would be the things to open it up to. They like to open it up by the exchange though, which does not really go with that plan. But do I have the link handy for this? Let's see. Well, it should just be, I made my life easier. And so I just made 𝗿𝗶𝗿𝗁 / like all the different things, my little short links. So that's the link. I'm still trading my Apex accounts that I've had forever. But I mean, that's just because I've had them forever. I guess I could try to amp those up. But one of them only has PA number 1 that I still have is not in good shape. It has $550 of drawdown left. So I don't know. Once the Apex accounts are done, they're probably done. I still have some other ones there too. What a boring open though, my God. I was hoping we were gonna get the breakout on stream, and it's just ranging. So let me take this one off. That's boring too. Because I want to go to this chart. This is the level that we were up against. That's why I moved my stop there, because I was thinking we were either going to reject that level or break through it, and I wanted to break out. Just because we're kind of, I mean, it's looking bullish. So that's what I was going for instead of the reject. Maybe I should have just played the reject. I don't know. I haven't been into those lately, but they have been working out. Oh, well. I think the problem we're having, this is what I was looking at this morning that was frustrating me, is NASDAQ is really lagging ES. So if I take all this other crap off for a second, you can see it really well. I'll leave the orb on because that will be kind of our reference point. So I've got NASDAQ over here. Wait, are these? Yeah, these are all 5 minute. I don't know why it's, oh, I see the problem. But I can take my levels off of here and just look at the orb. This is one of the reasons I like kind of putting something just really simple and methodical on here like this. Is you can kind of see relatively really easily. This is the NASDAQ price action. It's hanging back inside of that pre-market consolidation. Here's that same pre-market consolidation on ES, and it's holding above, which is why I was in that on ES instead of NAS. But what I'm noticing is VIX is not cooperating. This chart's gotten kind of weird. This is my old streaming chart. It's really just kind of a boring day. It's a good day not. Which indicator is this? I don't know which one you're talking about because now I just showed a whole bunch of them. This is not an indicator. This is a line chart. I have a video on how to set that up. But if you're talking about over here, this is the Orb Wrangler. And I get shit for not making my stuff free and publicly available on TradingView all the time. Every time I put an indicator out public for free on TradingView, they take it down. So if I'm going to go through all this work and just have my stuff taken down, I have them all as private and I give them when you sign up. So that's the way I'm doing that. The NinjaTrader ones I'll sell individually because that lives on your computer, but TradingView, in order for you to have access to my stuff, because they won't leave them up, I have to have a premium account. Do not like some things about TradingView right now. I am giving away some stuff, Andy. I'm giving away month-long access to all of my indicators. That's the way I decided to do it. Instead of like, oh, you want to pay $20 for this one and $20 for that one or whatever, just everything. Do you ever look at chart patterns at all? I'm not a huge fan of them, but okay. So I do. Okay. Yes and no. I will trade. So I don't know which one you're looking at right now. I'm just gonna make ES larger right now. I don't go, oh, there's a monkey wrench pattern over here and stuff like that. But I love a little. We don't have a good one right now. I love a little trend line. The 5 minute is just not giving it up today. That shit just bounced off my stop too. God damn it. Hang on. I'm a little angry over here. Okay. I was looking for like a good little trend line break situation. I traded one the other day, but it was pre-market and I think it was on NAS. But what I'll do is just look for these little, there's one right here. So if there's a really obvious little trend line like that, I look for that sort of break. And it could be, this one's a reversion, or it could be a breakout. So on the other side of it up here, there was one up here. Well, TradingView's not cooperating right now. We'll get it. So there's that other one up there. So it could have potentially broken out to the upside on that one. This one did kind of break out back to the upside here. So I don't sit there and like try to figure out if that's a cup and handle or whatever, but I do look at the patterns and I think about how it's going to form. And so sometimes you'll hear traders talk about, oh, we're just working on getting that on the 5-minute right now, or the 1 minute before it shows up on the 15. But what they're talking about is showing these things kind of developing. So, this is, you can see this on the 5-minute or 15-minute right now. So you've got higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher low. Are we going to make a new higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low? So I look at how that's going to kind of form. If we're going to keep forming that pattern, like this would be a good spot for a higher high. This would be a good spot for a higher high. So that's how I look at chart patterns. It's not, I think it's, yeah, I can see why it's nice to make a video about this is the tortoise and the hare pattern and all that. But when you're actually trading, it's harder to find. I do use Fibonacci's too, but I don't, there's a trader in our group that will fib every single candle. Like he'll even come in and fib this very first candle. I don't do this kind of stuff. I'll show you how I use it though. So he'll come in and like, I don't even know how he does all this. It would probably be the other way, right? So he'll trade all the, so for, or on this one, he'll look for price to come back down, buy in the golden pocket and then target something off of it. I like to use Fibonacci's on the big data candles. Of course, we don't have one right now to show you, but if we did, it would be, I watch to see if we trade back inside the golden pocket and then kind of treat that as a line in the sand for what price is going to do next. Good morning, just my style. Beastie Boys booty song just came up. So in the other year I've got booty. Nothing like a little booty in the morning. It's just annoying how NASDAQ is just lagging and lagging and lagging, but maybe we'll get something cooking on this eventually. Where are our NAS targets out here? 73, 973. I don't know. We need some volume to come in here. I have heard of SMB Capital. What about them? I haven't traded with them or messed with them much personally. I've just kind of seen their stuff around. I will say that part of the problem about taking the time to make all my own videos and stuff is I have less time to watch other people's videos. Yeah, that's probably what I kind of know of them is their basic option stuff from back in the day. Whoops. Hang on, I didn't mean to do that. I just a dodo sometimes. When I look at tech's a mess too, so it makes sense that NASDAQ is Amazon's down, Meta, Microsoft down, Nvidia, Google, Apple up. But Apple's recovering from yesterday, bouncing off the 200. Forgot I still had that orb trade on too. The orb trade has been annoying lately. John Locke of Lock in Your Success for options. I haven't heard his stuff. I'll have to go look that up. But yes, like, because I was originally searching for option stuff like 5 years ago, there's new people who have better content than what I was looking at. And some people have stepped it up. Yeah. All of us take profit, please, please. Let's do it. Ugh, it's so boring. It's hard after a day like yesterday that was massive to watch this just paint dry situation. I'm gonna put some stuff back on. Because this is on NASDAQ. I'm on the 15-minute now, but this is the orb trade that I'm looking at. It's never really, like, it got out long enough to tag me in. Shame. And I still kind of like the move up. But we need somebody to show up to work today, like somebody who works at a trading desk or something. I feel ya. I want to be at the beach too, guys. I didn't get to go this week. Too much going on. Oh, really? So he's deserted SMB to do his own thing. Interesting. I always like people who are doing their own thing, and I've gotten some, and part of it's like coming up doing what I do on, having the Discord and having YouTube and things. I have a lot of people come in and expect me to be a different version of what they just left. And it's like, well, if you weren't liking that and you were looking for somebody else, then why are you criticizing me for doing a bad job of what they do? But I always encourage everybody, just find your own way. That's really where, if you're going to think about like where all of the biggest successes have come from, it's come from doing things their own way because they saw an opportunity, a hole that wasn't filled in whatever. Because I get frustrated when new retail traders say, well, I can't trade because I don't have any funds, because I started out with no funds. And I think that you can get distracted trying to, whether it's prop firms or options funding, that should be something you add, probably. If your goal is to have your own funds, like you should still be working on that. I mean, it would have been nice to have some sort of prop firm income while I was building my options account, but I really did build it from nothing. I told people I started it with $250, but actually, when I went and looked at the statement, I initially put half of that in. It's just I put more in so I could have a little bit more fun. It was hard to even buy Apple options with $100, but that was my goal. Is I just wanted to turn something, or turn nothing into something. So it's just not an excuse to say I don't have funding, because if you can learn how to get $20 a day out of the market, you can scale that up. Like whatever it is, if you can get good at it, you can add more. And that's my mythology with the prop firms too, is my funds come first because I can do whatever I want with those. Like I was talking about this trading competition and someone asked me, well, what's the drawdown on their 25K account? I was like, well, it's $25,000 because it's a $25,000 account. And when that's a new concept, I'm like, that's kind of weird. But like that is the ultimate goal, is to have your own big funds, right? So you should learn how to do that while doing whatever else you're doing, whether it's prop firms or what else, because prop firms are they have their own game that you play with them, honestly, and each firm kind of has the different rules. And so my whole thing has been looking for one that is set up most like regular trading. And it's still hard because you really can't trade minis if you're going. I get criticized for having a stop loss that's more than like 2 ticks sometimes. But if you're going to have a stop market that's actually based on the market and based on a swing low or swing high or something, you have to have a little bit of room, which means you cannot be trading the minis in a lot of those accounts. So it does end up feeling kind of boring. But the fact that you could just pile them on top of each other and copy trades to them, that's the game. That's the game for me. I know some people are just prop traders and that's their whole thing. But I think a lot of that is I mean, that's the YouTubers and things doing that more than anybody else. And if you're putting a lot of leverage on, you're going to have a bigger channel than mine. That's just how it works. If you are showing 50K losses and 50K gains all the time, it gets more attention. But that's not really what everyone wants, is it? Hey, Ratish. How's the replicanto going, 𝗖𝗶𝗿𝗁? It's a little bit scary the first time you hit that button, then all of a sudden all your accounts light up. But it gets fun too. Yeah, I can't stand attacking traders for trading a different way. Okay, I've gotten in trouble on the stream once. One time I got in trouble for being inappropriate. I know that guy kept on saying I was always in trouble. I was like, but the guys are telling me good job, like the people who pay me. But one time I did get in trouble, and it was for saying that there were multiple ways of shaving a cat. And then it's like, don't talk about the cat. So I said, fine, there's multiple ways of shaving a pussy. That's the only time I've gotten in trouble. Do you like 𝗖𝗂𝘁𝗶𝗰 or ICT? ICT's a piece of shit, so I don't listen to him. Like anyone who just goes around trashing people to try to build themselves up, no, we're not dealing with that. I'm not going to try to learn from a fucking idiot loser who rips off things, renames it, and then trashes people all day. 𝗖𝗂𝘁𝗶, yes, I've read 𝗖𝗂𝘁𝗶. There's a lot. I mean, he's talking about a lot more than 𝗖𝗂𝘁𝗶, but yeah, if you study 𝗖𝗂𝘁𝗶, you know all that. I mean, a lot of this is auction theory and stuff. Like it's just obvious stuff. But then if you overcomplicate it and use big words, then idiots think you're smart. So that's what ICT is. Yeah, I like that one, huh? I mean, it's just facts. Like people's like, oh, I don't have a problem with people who make profits trading ICT concepts because that's just a name for some normal trading stuff. I have a problem with people who say, if you don't trade ICT, you're a loser. If you don't trade ICT, you can't be profitable. Blah. That's just stupid. That's literally stupid. There you go. Yeah, he's the enigma. That's like, that cracks me up so bad when he goes on his rants about I can't trade because I invented the market that was around long before me. But I mean, if you're saying that you can't trade in a sim account because the market is hunting your sim stops, like come on, the market doesn't see your sim stops, dude. You would know that if you actually designed anything for the market. Meanwhile, I'm listening to Snoop Doggy Dogg over here. Regulate. Like, I don't understand attacking people who actually know how to trade and are actually like trading real accounts when you don't even trade real accounts. But the orb trade's still going over here, y'all. I'm still trying to catch a breakout on this other thing. We're getting a little bit of that thing I was just showing, that little trend line that I was just showing on this other chart over here. So this deal, the problem is the breakout is going to be a walk up today, but it could still happen. Every time we get up to 60-30 and I move my stop, we get stopped out. But now we're like there, so I don't have room on the stop anymore. I feel a little anti-ICT protest coming on. Well, I should protest the new way, and I should get a flag that says "Go ICT" and then bitch about ICT. Right? That's how we're doing it in Los Angeles, by the looks of it. You love quotes. Okay, good. Aw, thank you. Well, I mean, Lambos are cool, but you know what else you can do with Lambo money is like a lot. You can do a lot of things with Lambo money other than pose with your Neiman Marcus bags or whatever. Is that what y'all want? Y'all want to be able to go brag to somebody that you went shopping with your car on the internet, or do you want to like have a $10 million house and, you know, no urgency in your life and do whatever you want? We all make choices. Islands and Lambos. There you go. Oh, the Texas heat? Yeah. Are you new to Texas? We're just preheating. Just preheating. Yeah, the maintenance costs in a Lambo. Well, here's the way I look at it. So I actually do have a neighbor that has a Lambo, and they redid the main road that we turn off of. They redid that, and then it raised it up, and then he couldn't get his Lambo out of our road. So he literally couldn't drive it anywhere. So I will take my trucks all day long. There's all more ICT. Yeah, y'all like ICT stuff, huh? I should retitle the chat. There, added some ICT in there. We'll get some new people searching. Just moved back in for work, was out in Oklahoma. So I mean, it gets hot in Oklahoma. I've been in Oklahoma in the summer. But yeah, if you're like, especially if you're in South Texas, the humidity kills. In Central Texas, we'll have humidity and then it blows out, and then we have humidity and it blows out. We never know. I would say we're probably more humid than most, but I've been to Houston, so I'm not going to challenge Houston on the humidity. Inverted unfair value gap coming up. Yep. Unfair value gap. So I don't know if y'all have studied market profile, like Dalton. Go read Dalton, and you'll laugh about anyone talking about fair value gap ever again, and like how auction theory and market profile and all that stuff works, because it's single prints. It's just single prints. I don't know why no one else keeps talking about the fact that it's single prints and that market theory actually makes sense and it's simple. But okay, fair value gap, whatever. I mean, I hate that like I have to even talk about them because people are so obsessed with them. But if you study market profile, you get auction theory in there too. Yeah, you don't need any of that. Do you think most beginner traders think ICT is holy grail? I don't know. That's kind of sad. I think the knuckleheads who like are into the Lambo trading, that's what's weird to me, is he's not even a Lambo trader. Like if he was such a badass, he would have a Lambo, because you can tell he gets jealous of cars and stuff. Like that whole thing with the Patrick Whelan. I don't know. He was tweeting. He was having some tweet battle about how Patrick has cars. Like that's kind of part of his thing, right? So you could tell he's like jealous of that kind of stuff. So if he was such a baddie, then he would have his own Lambo. But like, you're a little washed up to be chasing that dream at that point. Like your goals should change at a point. Like as kids are college age, like it's time to adjust your goals a little bit. I mean, he's not gonna be the best 20-year-old, and that's what he's trying to act like. He's trying to hype up all those guys. Like he's just playing into weaknesses, and that's what I don't like about it. I don't, because that's predatory. It's predatory when you're playing into people's weaknesses and desperation in order to make a buck for yourself. And yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool. But it's literally designed to suck you in. when I first started watching the videos, and I was trying to remember which one it was, because I need to go grab the sound bites, but he was going on this whole thing about how you really shouldn't even push the button until you've watched all of my videos, and all my videos aren't out yet because it's this year's model. So unless you pay attention to this year's model, you can't take any trades based on this year's model until I've finished talking about it, which I won't do till the end of the year. So it's basically like, you're done trading for the year already because you're going to follow my system. It's like, what? What? Patrick Whelan is at least honest. Yeah, I mean, he likes the beef. He does like the beef. Because people have always been like, oh, Patrick's going to get on you for that. I think I don't know if Patrick would come after me, because that's not what I'm about. He's going after the people who will beef with him, right? Which is ICT and the Lambo guys. I mean, so the nice position that Patrick is in is he's making 7 figures on these affiliates. I can tell you, like, just based on what I get from affiliates, he's fine. He's fine. Especially working for like Apex. I'm pretty sure that's why he ditched Top Step, because he ditched Top Step about the same time I was, and they weren't paying. Like, they were just flat out like, you know, not paying people. So Apex was. So I know he was making a lot of money from Apex. So then, because he's got all that to support the lifestyle, it really relaxes you. He's not putting his funds up ever. So it's like, it's easier to trade in a paper account, right? Yes. So he's got a job. He's created this space. He did this by himself. It's impressive. He created this space where he's getting paid whether he does a good job trading or not. And that helps him really kind of relax into it. It's hard to trade live. And so that's a great little thing he set up. Do you like books about trading, and what books do you recommend to a beginner? I always have a hard time like what books are good for a beginner, but I really, really love the Mark Douglas. And the nice thing about Mark Douglas is you can kind of get a break from the books. So I read the first book, what is it called? Trading in the Zone. And then I watched his 4-part series on YouTube, and then I came back to The Disciplined Trader, and that was really eye-opening for me, because a lot of the technical analysis and stuff, like, that's actually the easier part, and that's easier to learn kind of online as you're going, because you can sit here even while you're waiting for a trade setup and say, oh, I see, you know, this little trend, I see a trend line forming here, and then, you know, I've got this level up here, and maybe we're getting a wedge out of this level, and so then I can deploy this other thing that I was reading about, and like that kind of thing. You can kind of slow it down. And the psychology, without the psychology though, you're sitting there second guessing, well, no, it's going to drop out the bottom, well, no, it's going to drop out, or it's going to fly out the top, which way is it going to go? I'll put my stop here, wait, no, it's going the other way. And you just like are constantly doing that. And that's what having the trading psychology is, because we're battling our natural instincts to be able to do this well. And it's all of the bad money crap that we were taught growing up, and it's all of our own trauma. We've been out of money before. I mean, who here has been out of money before? Like, nothing, like, shit, what are we gonna do? And like, having that behind you, I think you feel like, at least when you're first starting out, you feel like every single trade could potentially put you there. But if you can get the trading psychology under control to where you can make level-headed decisions, then you can sit here and think, okay, well, this is how I don't let that happen. I'm going to make sure that my risk is right, and that I'm being patient, and that I'm waiting for the right setup, so that I don't end up in that situation with my pants down where there's nothing in the account and whatever. Trading for Dummies. I was wondering about that one. I didn't read the Trading for Dummies, but I've been kind of wondering, because like those books always do kind of cover the basics. Basically, you want to know enough to where you know what people are talking about when they're on streams and things, and you want to know enough to where you can ask questions, whether it's to a person or Google or whatever. Trading in the Zone's amazing. I think it's required reading. I wish Mark Douglas was still around. I bet he would be still putting content like that out, but unfortunately he's not. One of the people that I learned to trade from was from Simpler Trading. What's his name? John Carter. It's like, I know he has an easy D. Why am I being stupid right now? So John Carter actually got to work with Mark Douglas, and it was really cool getting to kind of hear about that process, because he had stories from other traders too, and a lot of it is just he's pointing out the obvious to people, or like from the outside it's a lot more obvious, and so you have to kind of learn to do that yourself a little bit. But like for me, there's a couple blocks of trading that I just suck at, whether it's because I'm second guessing myself or I just can't read the market that good at that time, and reading the trading in the zone helped me identify those. So I know that period pre-market, don't do it. And then like the end of lunch hour, like don't do it. It's just not good. You could probably fade yourself, but it's not even that. Like if I put an account in each direction at those times, I could probably lose money on both of them. So I just take that out, and then everything's way easier because I'm not having to make up a loss that I shouldn't have made during a stupid time. Are market makers the big institutions that manipulate the market? No. So the market makers, I mean, they're really just, they're keeping everything balanced. So there's different types of market makers. They're kind of on different levels. And I'm not going to try to generalize everybody, but one of the market makers would be your broker. So we'll just use Robinhood as an example. If Robinhood is letting you deal with all these, if Robinhood's doing a bunch of QQQ options and you're buying them, they're selling you those QQQ options, and they may not want to be short QQQ options. So they have to kind of make sure that their inventory is correct and everything. And so that's what a markets maker job is, to make sure that their books are settled and always at least making a little bit, because then they can make, most of them are making money on the spread. Like I think we think that they're this evil person hunting our stops and liquidating us and all that. And they're just they're making money on the spread, and they're keeping their books balanced and not trying to get upside down on it. And there's algos that help them, and there's a lot of analysis that they have to do, but that's what the market maker is doing. The institutions, the market maker could be working with the institution, but the institution doesn't have to be a market maker. So you can also have institutions that are just a big fund. So John Smith down the street wants to make a hedge fund, and so he gets his buddies, and they have these, and you know, we're going to invest and we're going to do all of this. We're going to invest 75% of our money out at all times. So he's going to go find those opportunities to put those in, but he doesn't have to be a market maker to do that. Am I still showing this orb trait now? It's about to get stopped out. Son of a. I was not liking this one today. But we take it anyway because I'm teaching a system and a rules. Kind of making me want to go look at last summer though and see if I need a different set of rules for summer trading. I don't like it. It sucks right now. But we were talking about this earlier. It's like the second you pull a system is when it, at least by all appearances, starts doing really well. So I was looking at that little, I showed you that little trend line break earlier, and that one broke to the downside. I don't know, I'm just not feeling the shorts today. I'm struggling with that. I do that sometimes. It's like, I don't know. We're on the hour. Here, let me show you what I'm looking at. And I actually have this spread out. You can see a little bit easier. I mean, that's the level, and we're rejecting off of it. So the hourly is really kind of giving me a better spot. Maybe we can get a buy down in here, but wow, that had to be news. US CPI due Wednesday. China talks are ongoing. Broad range of options for military action if negotiations on the nuclear deal fails. That's it. So US and China are talking, but this is the one that just came out. So there's a hearing going, whoa, don't move. There's a hearing going on with the defense secretary talking about Iran and nuclear stuff. President Trump tells Fox News that Iran is becoming much more aggressive in nuclear talks. Holy crap, that's that candle. Yeah, there's, okay, if you were short, there you go. You got that one. And I was technically long on that orb still, so that one stopped out. But I wish I was short. I need Victor's account right now. that is an ugly candle. So I can show you how I do, while we're here, I can show you how I do this Fibonacci on these candles. This would be for like CPI data too. I wait until the immediate reaction kind of slows down, and it's kind of slowed down there. And then I watch and see if we get a, if we go into the golden pocket and if we're going to come back out of it. This is sometimes I got to have this other, well, these are synced, but I'll go down to the 1 minute because then you can kind of watch the second candle form here too. So this has this big wick. If we stay above this wick, that's bullish. It's going to bounce. If it comes back below that wick there, 6,012 on ES, that's the spot. If it goes back below that, we're still bearish. Otherwise, it's more likely to bounce and chop in here. Hopefully this isn't just, it's not just liquidity. I mean, what do you mean? So a liquidity zone, it's not like the market just like gets pushed towards liquidity. But what a liquidity zone is where a bunch of resting orders could potentially be. I mean, this was a news candle. So the market dropped, but there could, so let me turn the orb off. This isn't helpful right now. We've got a level down here. This would be the liquidity level. That would, so liquidity would be, they have, if they want to get in at this price, they would have orders sitting down there so that when this candle hits, their orders are already there and buys that back up. So that's what I mean, that's again what I was just talking about when these candles get bought up. Like that is kind of the same thing. So I think that, especially if you've been listening to ICT, you're going to think that like there's some evil guy, some liquidity monster down here just looking to eat your stops. And that's what liquidity is just where there's a lot of resting orders, which is going to be at a major point of support and resistance. So like I had the magnet level there, and the reason if I put a magnet level on, that's because I expect the market to be targeting it with resting orders. So that's what I kind of had that there for. And so it looks like a big ugly candle, but like if we look, this is the stuff that I posted even this morning. So if I posted in Discord, it's not that long. CPI tomorrow, 59.95 to 60.10 is the line in the sand for the intraday charts. Above, we can look to retest yesterday's high or the overnight high in 60.50. Below 59.95, we fall into chop. So right now we're like, we're still in that bullish scenario, even though this looks like a big nasty candle. And so you always have to kind of keep that in perspective too. So that's why you have the morning plan. The morning plan is going to guide you for the rest of the day. So even when you get, because we traveled up a little bit, we're below close now, but we had traveled up from close before this. So yeah, it's a nasty candle, but it's just going to the levels. That's what they do. They just go to the levels. Looks okay, wait. Looks like the pop after the 732 level gets hit. Yeah. Size does matter a little bit sometimes. So what I was trying to do is watch this on the 5 minute and the 1 minute. It helps me out a little bit. So if you have your 5 minute chart up, you might be able to see this a little bit better. See, there it goes. It's going bullish. Let's see how those are forming. Again, this is a really choppy day though, so we might just chop. The reason I wasn't leaning towards an inside day is just because the pre-market price went above yesterday's high already. That's a bullish move in general. I love it. So who was asking me about Fibonacci's? I love a Fibonacci on a data candle. A lot of times these retrace. I just try to zoom out when I think of nasty candle. Yeah, that's the plan. And I know screen real estate is not always readily available to everyone, but if you have the space, even if you can just have like 3 charts, you can have one that's huge, like the daily or the hourly, and then you can have one that's kind of in the middle, like the 5 or 15, and then something smaller like the 1. But like I don't want to enter off of a 1-minute candle, but you know, they're all hitting the same levels. And on the 1-minute candle, I was able to see a little bit quicker what the tail of these candles were doing inside of that golden pocket area. So we'll see. But yeah, the way liquidity works is that's just resting orders sitting there. And again, to like Dalton and market profile, if you even just skip over Wyckoff, because Wyckoff was before Dalton, Dalton's like an improved version of a lot of that. Do I have that book handy? Yep, this is a good one. I'll show it to you. This one. I don't know where my camera is. I can't see me. Mind Over Markets by Dalton. There I am. This is a really good one. Whoever was looking for books. And there's good videos about it too. Not for me. I need to. Abhishek! That candle was Trump talking about Iran becoming more aggressive with nuclear talks. But it's still holding my bullish plan, so I'm seeing if we retrace some of it. I'm kind of over trading today, but I was hoping we could get some more stuff. Well, London just closed. Yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap it up soon. But if we can get a little thing going here, a little retracement. Well, I see the bond auction. It came through. It didn't come through as a critical alert. Okay, sure. It was definitely not the nuclear talks. It was definitely the bond auction that happens every day. There should be a spring in Wyckoff's face. Yeah. So accumulation, distribution, all that stuff, those are real concepts that Knucklehead on YouTube didn't come up with because it was before YouTube. But if you want to study that sort of thing, that's Wyckoff goes into that a lot. But you also have to think about these things are happening on a lot of different scales. So we're on, I was even on a 1-minute chart a minute ago, which is kind of yucky. But then if we go to the hourly, like that doesn't look like that much. It doesn't look like a big, ugly candle, even compared to some of the stuff we got overnight. So that's the zoom out move, right? You always got to keep that in perspective. Meanwhile, there's our daily candle. The little baby up here, just a little baby candle. So, and it's still green on ES. Is NASDAQ green though? I don't know about NASDAQ saying green. Yeah, NAS is flat. They're all flat, but NAS would be giving us a red doji right now. Oh my gosh, I've got to clean out my watch list. It's insane right now. There's our little red doji on Nazi. Nazi poo. A spring. It's a good analogy. Boing. Yeah, I don't have that. I got this. I thought I was sharing the wrong screen for a second. I'm also looking on VIX. This is another little clue for me. Where is it? So VIX put in a big wick up here and then came right back down to its trend also. So I'm not so intimidated by this big candle. You guys don't need to be intimidated by the big candle either. If you ever get intimidated, just get yourself a stressed banana and make sure it's not intimidating. Did you worry when that sudden bar occurred? I mean, worry I would not say is the right word. It did suck because it stopped me out on like a whole bunch of accounts, but that's what the stop was there for, right? So I'd actually just moved it. I don't know. Wasn't paying that close attention. And I had the, well, no, the orb one stopped me out kind of hard. So that sucks. Like I did get stopped out. You can see my stop on this one. But that is literally what the stop is for. If, you know, if this thing just worked out all the time, I wouldn't have to have it on there. And so what, like I was just talking about, but I mean, I've done this a bunch. I've watched these big candles a bunch and then I go, and then I go zoom out and see that that's the candle that I'm worried about or, you know, could potentially be worried about. And then I'm not worried about it anymore. And I still see VIX on its trend line too. VIX should move basically opposite the ES and NASDAQ markets, and it hopped right back on its trend. So ES over here hasn't done it yet, and NASDAQ hasn't done it yet, but this makes me not worry. Market is just marketing, and we're getting that bounce. Let's go. Let me see if I can put my ES up over here. Where is this account? What a mess. This chart's a mess, guys. Let me try to fix something. My ES chart to share is not good right now. Hang on. There it is. So the yellow line there is point of control. So now I can just like put these right under point of control. And I'm gonna leave this one as a true runner. I'm gonna give that one some fun. But we got 40 up there. I'll do it. Same thing happened the day Trump announced talks with China. We were doing good. Yeah. That's why I don't forget about these candles anymore. I've just played with them enough. If you sit at your charts and watch the data candles and just like start studying, I think it's harder to go back and look at them. Like even in playback, it kind of jumps around. So this one is just good sitting in charts. And that little Fibonacci thing, I really like watching the midpoints. That's another old trading theory thing, like old, like back to the 20s and 30s, just measuring midpoints and using those as levels. So I do that, and I watch the golden pocket off also because, you know, if I'm watching a 50% and I'm throwing a Fibonacci on, might as well watch that too. And just watching those, it helps me really get a sense of what the market thinks. If the market is supporting that murder candle or not. If the market's not supporting that murder candle by coming up and retracing it real easily, then we're getting the retracement. And I don't care if I just get half of it, that's fine. On the other side, if it stays below, that's when we're more likely to get continuation. Did something just hit? I heard order. Oh yeah, I had it, my other account, it actually hit. It did not hit on this account yet. What? Hang on, I'm gonna catch up on chat. How many trading counts do you have? I don't even freaking know right now. I got 5 PAs at Apex. I got 2 accounts. I mean, it's a lot because then I also have interactive brokers. So I'm working on 2 at My Fund of Futures. Interactive brokers, my own Ninja account, And then like, okay, so this is, people want this to be simple. This is not relatable content. Y'all want some not relatable content? Once you start like actually building some wealth, which is the goal in this, we're trying to build wealth, right? Then you start getting into financial planning, and then you start getting into trust accounts. So then you can have an account in your own name, but you can also have an account in your trust name, and you can trade that. And that can be, you can do different sorts of things with those accounts. They can be accounts that you can't withdraw from, which is fun. You get to do the compounding interest in that. And those ones, so like a prop account, you can't hold overnight. And these bigger accounts I can hold overnight. And so that's what I don't talk about those trades very much, because I know it's frustrating for people who don't have accounts that you can do that in. But that's why, like, I can't just say, oh, I have this many PA accounts, because I'm not a prop trader first. I know some people are prop traders first, and you know, good for them. But I'm trading my own funds first, and so that's where my focus is. And I also, like, it's not relatable to talk about the IRAs and trust accounts and things that are able to hold these positions a little bit longer. But yeah, my goal this year is to be adding more props. So I've stopped doing the Apex evaluations. I'm not getting rid of my old accounts that I've already worked on, but my new focus is on the My Funded Futures accounts, because I want to be put on live. Like, that's just always made sense to me. Like, why would I go trade for, if I'm doing a really kick-ass job trading and they're going to pay me out, like that, the business model isn't sustainable unless they're putting people in live accounts. So that was my thing. I was looking for someone who had reasonable rules that would actually put me into live. And then I just watched Terry go through all that, and it was nerve-wracking for her. So I'm not in a rush to do that, but that is one of the goals here. Could you please explain why Apex is moving me to live, but you guys are better than me and still have the values? Am I better than you? I don't know. I mean, I lay pretty low in Apex. I do not push those accounts because they are so strict on payouts and stuff. So I just trade micros in those. So on my trade copier, I can scale everything up or down or however I want to do it. And I just trade micros with rare exception. I mean, a year ago when we were getting smaller ranges, I was trading minis more, but right now at these larger ranges, I just trade micros in those. I don't want to be their top guy. The top people at Apex get their heads cut off, and I don't want to do that. So I don't know, we'll see. Oh, I'm not familiar. Well, no, I'm not familiar with Blue Sky. A lot of these I don't know. I mean, there's a million guys out there. I was looking for someone that I could work with long term, that is not a fly by night place, that is actually looking to put people into funds. Because this whole idea about the online prop firm is they're copying a business model that's been around. I knew about it well, I didn't know about it in the 80s, but I know about it going back to the 80s. It could be even older than that, though, where a fund is going to hire traders and they're going to train traders to trade their strategies. I would love that. I would love to have somebody sitting here pushing the button for me so I can just fuck off and do bull Barbie stuff all day and give them the plan and let them do it. So that's what they're doing. They're hiring traders to trade their plans. And then the ones that are really, really good at it, they put on their live funds. And a lot of times they don't even, as their trader, you don't know if you're in the live funds or not. So, yeah, I'm just going to let this, I'm going to see if this runs. I was talking, I didn't even notice all this good profit. But so what I'm looking for is I'm looking for somebody who's operating off of that proven business model and not just trying to pay off gamblers who are gambling accounts and maxing out all of the position sizes. That's a red flag for me. So that's part of why I ended up with My Funded Futures. I mean, it's a lot of reasons, and I'm not saying that that's the only prop firm I'll ever trade with again for the rest of my life, but that's the one I'm focused on right now. And if another one has a really great opportunity, I'll go for it. I was trading with Take Profit Trader for a while because, I mean, I can pass their accounts decently easy and their payouts are really easy, but I've had a hard time keeping the funded accounts because you have trailing drawdown. I hate trailing drawdown. Intraday trailing drawdown. I hate it. So I've lost funded accounts that way. I know just the firm for you, 𝗏𝗏. They're exactly how you explain. I can check them out. I am good. Just kind of, I'm not looking to add a lot to my life right now. I think that is confusing sometimes, but I've got a lot going on. So right now I'm just going to keep trucking with these accounts that I'm already working on. Well, I got my long. It just wasn't pretty. Oh well. What time is it? Yeah, I was planning on hopping off of here in about 5 minutes. And I'll just be trailing these. I mean, sometimes, guys, I don't sit here. So when I get off the stream, I'm usually like, whatever. So what I'll do is I'll just every once in a while pop in here and drag my trails up a little bit. And I don't try to overthink it, and I don't try to stress over it, because the whole point of trading is so I can go do other stuff. My funded futures have they have end of day drawdown. I know that for a fact. I'm totally sure about that. End of day drawdown on my funded futures. It's the intraday that I'm talking about, like intra position. So if I'm in a position and the position moves up $2,000, but then I don't take profit until it comes back down and I'm only $1,000 green, then I've lost $1,000 of my trailing profit, and that sucks, and I don't like it. I can deal with end of day. I've been dealing with end of day at Apex in the funded, but they have the intraday on their evals. So like I trade their evals differently. If I want to pass an Apex eval, I do trade. I usually do it in a day or two and just trade it kind of aggressively. I've been trying to just copy trade into the My Funded Futures ones, and it's slower, but yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of good things about Take Profit Trader. It's just you have to know that blowing funded accounts is part of the game there. So they make it easier to pass an eval than they do to hold a funded. And that's the game. So Apex is paying if you don't want very much. If you're in the, if you stay like, if you don't go ask for if you go ask for a $20,000 payoff from Apex, they're going to look at every little thing, see if they can claim something was hedging, see if they can claim something was DCA or whatever. I don't like, that's actually what was the biggest turnoff for me, is like, what do you mean? And then it's, well, the rule was always on our website. It's always been there, buried in the Q&A. We've just never enforced it. And it's like, no. I mean, they put the rules up there so vaguely that they can always be right. The drawdown is killer. It's the eval. So once you get past the evals, you don't have to deal with that. They do have other silly stuff with like the consistency. I don't like consistency on funded either, but. So we're working on My Funded Futures. I am biased. I like them. But even like whatever deals I've made with them, I have told y'all, and I told them at the time that we're not getting married. I'm not getting married to My Funded Futures just because I talk about them and I'm in their partner program and stuff. We're still going to be seeing other people. It's cool. I mean, they're talking to other traders too, so it's cool. It's all good. It's not that kind of thing. I have not heard about Futures Desk. This is part of the frustrating thing about prop firms right now, is everybody wants one, and so everybody's making one. They're not all going to be good. And I'm okay. I mean, it's great if you won one, go try it out, right? But I'm okay taking it slow. Like this is a long-term thing for me. So I don't need to have 50 prop accounts today. That looks really cool when like Patrick and whoever does that and they have 20 Apex accounts going. That looks really cool, but I don't need to look cool. So I'm over that. I already been there, done that in my life. So looking cool is not it. Y'all are bringing up all kinds of places I've never heard of. Some of these, when I go look at them though, I can't trade on NinjaTrader. That's important to me too, because I've got my whole system set up where I've got like 3 charts on there, 4 charts really. And each one of those charts has a leader account. And then I have my trade copier, and I turn on and off all the time. I'm really fidgety with it, but I can tell if I want to copy that trade. If it's a good trade, I go turn on the trade copier and copy it to other accounts. But then like that, each chart is like a set. So there's one's ES, one's NASDAQ, and then the third one I kind of change around a lot. So that one has gold and all that kind of stuff on it. And then each one. So if I add any accounts, if I add a prop account or whatever, it has to fit into that system. I have to be able to add it to the trade copier and everything. Because right now, and this has happened the other day, I left NinjaTrader running on my computer, and I had stuff to do, but I hadn't been able to move a stop yet. So I was out on the go, and just got my little phone out and loaded 𝗕𝗏𝗁, moved the stop, which moved it on all the accounts because they're all running back on my computer on NinjaTrader. And I was able to do it that way. Because sometimes you don't have the luxury of being able to put that automation on at the right time when you have to leave. And that's always been huge for me. That's why at first I was like, I don't know how I can do this if I'm supposed to be monitoring and watching the charts all the time. I have to figure out how I can do this work without being attached to the screen, because I'm going to go out and ride my horse, and I'm going to go out and tell my chickens they're assholes and dressing them up or whatever I want to do. I'm gonna go drive my kids. It's time to go. We gotta go to 𝗬𝗏𝗁. It's time to go to 𝗬𝗏𝗁. Let's go to the mall. But I want to be able to go do all that stuff. And like that's the freedom of this, right? Like before I was really tied to clients, and it was all about my clients' schedules and what my clients needed. It's my time. So everything, my whole setup with all of the technology that I have, it's always been about finding that way that I can make it happen easier. Top Step is also starting to create tougher rules. Well, Top Step lost me last summer, or was it the summer before? I don't know. They lost me. We're done. Broken up. No more Top Step. First, they were playing with like they wanted me. Ooh, they wanted me to be their partner. They asked me like, "Hey, come do our thing. Like we're kind of interested in having you do these other things for us." I was like, "Oh, cool. This is really exciting." Because I was still newer. I mean, I only had like 1,500 subscribers here at the time and all that. And then, so here's the thing. I don't trust anybody. I have my own little links. Like I have that 𝗏𝗏𝗁𝗏.link. So I had 𝗏𝗏𝗁𝗏link/TopStep. And I know how many links I sent them. Okay. I know how many people I sent them because I have tracking on that link. And in their back end, it says how many people I sent on that link and how many people bought on that link. And there was a really big discrepancy between the traffic that I knew I was sending and the traffic that they were counting. And because they won't use codes, it's all this tracking link. Like if you have an ad blocker on, then you know that your affiliate is not getting paid for it. So it was like, first of all, they're not paying me diddly squat. And then they wanted me to be exclusive. It's like, so you're paying me less than everyone else, and you want me to be exclusive. And then I was on vacation, and my Express account, my finished funded account that I had paid for and not even taken any withdrawals from yet, they closed it while I was out of town because I'd been inactive on it for too long. I'd been inactive on it because I just brought my laptop and I didn't think it was a big deal, or I would have logged into it. Do you know of this Project X stuff? Yeah, so again, like Project X, not for me, because I'm in NinjaTrader. I have bots running there, I have automations running there, and I have, most importantly, my trade copier running there. So if I leave, I have a leader account, and I can just log into NinjaTrader or 𝗕𝗏𝗁𝗏 or whatever and control my leader account, and it's going to take care of the rest of the accounts. And you can't do that on Project X. You have to be, it's locked into Top Step. So you have to be a Top Step trader. You have to be exclusive and only play their game. That's not what I want to do. By the way, as far as Project X goes, this is a new thing that the prop firms are doing. My Funded Futures is doing it. Apex is doing it. They're all doing it, where they have their own platform. So for me, I don't want to be locked into their own platform. I would love it if these platforms have some more advanced tools. Because I can tell you, I don't know if this is ever going to happen, but I have looked at kind of setting up, it would have to be almost my own platform a little bit, where I was working on setting up this tool to control all of my trades and all of my automations, but I would basically be creating my own platform, which is what they're doing. But if I can use their platform to get some of that same information that I was trying to build, then great. But if I'm locked into it, then nope. So I've not played with the My Funded Futures one yet, but I want to see what it is. And then I'm just not messing with the Apex stuff. I'm not that invested in it anymore. How do you guys run bots or algos on NinjaTrader? Do you need to use any third-party tools? So you have to have a script, because the script tells it what to do. So it's just programming if this, then that. If we have a 9 EMA across a 20 EMA, then I want to enter long or short, and this is going to be my stop and my take profit, something like that. So in NinjaTrader, you can use their, a bot in NinjaTrader is called a strategy. So you can use their strategy wizard to build a simple algo, like a simple bot. I have found that I have more advanced rules that don't really fit in the wizard. So what I ended up doing is I started in the wizard. It'll generate you some basic code, and then you can go in and learn how to write code, which is annoying, but that's how I've been doing it. So I have some bots, and it's an actual script that I started writing in NinjaTrader, but have since branched out. And I run that script, and I can run it on a chart, or I can run it in the back end, and I tell it which account and which asset, and then it runs for better or for worse. I think there's a big, there's this notion that algos are easy. You just tell the bot what you want it to do, and then it does it. But there's a whole discipline of algo trading. It's like there's equity trading, there's options trading, there's futures trading, and there's algo trading. It has its own strategies. It's a lot more complicated, which you'll see once you start trying to program a bot. There are all of these little nuances that come naturally to the brain that do not come naturally to the computer. So that's where it gets kind of tricky. But if you keep it really simple, the main ones I do is I have some trailing brackets, and I'm not using them today, so you don't get to see them work, but I'll have some where there's stepped trailing brackets. And I also have some that are full auto traders. So I'm working on programming the orb right now. I've been busy with other things, but it should be pretty simple, where it's just going to automatically take that trade and put the stop. So if I'm talking about chart of the day, I hate chart of the day, but if we're talking about chart of the day, I can just let that happen. You know what I mean? Where was your entry? It's this line down here. If you're talking about now, it was down here. And this was a news candle entry. So if you want to rewind, I probably shared it in more detail, but I'll try to, I'm going to get going here in a couple of minutes. I talked longer than I meant to. But we had this news come in, and I did this live, so you can go kind of watch it. I put a Fibonacci on here, and then I watch. And then I was buying basically over the midpoint of this. So the midpoint was at 60.14. I ended up getting in at 60.1675. I marked it in. It wasn't real precise. But I was just watching to see how the candles were dealing with this golden pocket from the news candle. So I took it from the high just to where we started slowing down, because on this candle, we dipped down, but then kind of immediately wicked back up. So I counted that as the low. I had to go down to the 1 minute, even though I was trading it on the 5. I had to go down to the 1 minute to kind of see how all this was working. And then I just wanted to see how we were working with the midpoint. So we got over the midpoint and held it, and I entered. And then for targets, I'm using from my plan this morning. I had I still have my banana. From the pre-market plan, I have 60.40 from the overnight high. So that's one of my targets here. The other one I was looking at was the 60.30. I've been watching that level all week. So that was my main take profit. And then this other one, I'm just using a runner. I might even move this. I don't know. I really want 60.50. I just don't know. 60.40, I'm a lot more sure about testing than 60.50. We'll see. Okay. What do you think of Bookmap and stop gamma. I don't use them, so I don't know. I can't have a good opinion. I like bookmap I think it's good to have order flow. Bookmap was too much for me personally. I like watching the cumulative delta, and sometimes I'll watch the level 2 tape. Chrissy, I've tried to work on coding the orb, but it's tough to code the VWAP part since it's a bit discretionary. Yeah, I was probably not. I'll tell you, I don't think I'm going to I'm not going to program the VWAP. What I did on a bot you haven't seen yet because I haven't finished it. I put buttons on the side. I don't have it loaded on a chart. You have to load it onto a chart and not through the strategy tab, but it'll load buttons so I can have the long armed or not, and I can have the short armed or not, and that's what I was going to do. If y'all wait a little bit, that should be probably a couple weeks. I was trying to get it done for next week, but that's hilarious right now. Barbie, I'm seeing a lot of rejection here. Careful, the market could reverse. Buddy, my gains are protected. I had 5 and I'm down to 1. So I appreciate you, but this is how I protect it. So I've taken profit. I took profits at 30 on 4 of them. And this is just my runner now. And it is protected. So my stop is above the take profit. I put it below VWAP a little bit. The market could come down and I'm cool. Cool with it. We all good. Spot gamma. Is it way too overpriced? I'm working on some gamma tools off of my interactive brokers data, but I haven't talked about it because it's lower priority than some future tools that I'm building. So we'll see. I've got 2 tools that I'm hopefully going to build on option, or hopefully get finished on options, but yeah, it's just, I'm my programmer. I've tried getting help from programmers, and I guess I probably haven't found the right one yet, because every time I get something back, I end up working on it like the same amount of time that I would have spent on it anyway. So we'll see. I probably just don't know how to manage a coder helping me yet. I probably need to work on that. As a woman, they say it is easier to control your emotions. Okay, question about that. Is it easier to control your emotions as a woman? Because what I keep hearing is that I'm a woman, so I have outbursts and I cannot control my emotions and I'm going to cry a lot. So you cannot have it both ways. I think that because of that, like societal whatever, we have to be more calm and level-headed, but I don't actually think that's where it comes from. And I don't know I'm not trying to be rude. Okay. I do not mean this in a rude way. I don't know if a man is truly going to understand, like the level, like the mental capital that women spend on their families. And because we spend all that mental capital on our families, I do think it makes us more careful, because that's always in the back of our mind. Like, how is it going to affect the soccer schedule or whatever? Like we have a lot of tabs open. Okay. And I'm not saying that guys don't, but I'm saying that we take like full responsibility, like it's on our shoulders, like it's our own thing when it's a kid thing or a family thing and everything else. And I think in that way, like it has helped me kind of, because I can get upset about one of those things and it throws everything off. So all of these years, I've had to keep my cool when this one thing's going wrong as a mom or a woman or whatever, just because I've had so much, I don't know, I've already been overwhelmed so much. Probably a weird answer. Oh, using chat. Okay, really dumb question. Do you have a sub, and why do you use the right model? I don't know what that means. So I'm going to answer you, Chrissy. Everyone does say, oh, just have ChatGPT do it for you. Yeah, okay. No, it doesn't. You can't just say, hey, ChatGPT, I want you to build me this thing. It's not going to actually work. So if you take something like what the strategy wizard and NinjaTrader will build you, it's going to build you a skeleton of a bot. And then you can say, okay, ChatGPT, I have this bot and it does this thing. And here's the very specific rules of how that works. But what if we did it this way? What would that code look like? And then you can take that one function that it's helping you with and go work and go put that back into the original code. But if you're just asking it to create me a trading bot that makes me $1 million, it's not going to do that. That's just not how it works. You think it's going to reject 21,920? I don't know. I'm not worried too much about that right now, to be honest. I'm looking at ES. So what's 920? I don't know about 920. I kind of got, I'm watching this level up here, 35 a little bit more. Because it's my quant, but also I don't see the 30. I mean the 20. But I don't know, we're getting into that time. So I mentioned earlier, like there's times of days that I've just tracked, like looking back at the Mark Douglas stuff. That's one of the things that he works with traders on, is finding times a day to sit out. And this is my sit out time. So my rule is if I'm already in a trade and it's got to stop in profit, we're all good. Do I still have that up? Yeah. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, there it is. Hey, so yeah, I don't dislike the target up there at 920. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is, since I'm already in the trade and I've got the stop protected, I'm just going to let it do its thing. And that what you see here that ES is hanging up on right now is the value area high, and it's also the swing high. So the 30 level was, like I mentioned earlier, the 30 level was where my main target was. So I already took that off. This is just a protected runner, and I probably could trail it closer. I just don't feel like it right now. Yeah, if you're using ChatGPT, I would step it through what you want. Don't say, I want this whole thing. Say, okay, first let's do this. Okay, now let's add that. Otherwise, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about using ChatGPT because I think it's oversimplified a lot, and people act like you can just do that. Well, if somebody said that they just built this thing in ChatGPT, I'm kind of calling bullshit. So, all right, y'all. I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna go eat some lunch. But I'll be in the Discord. Do we have the Discord? I'll pop the Discord link in here. So I will be in the Discord. We'll post the afternoon Ask Clincher in there in a little bit. I haven't started that bot yet. That bot's not in NinjaTrader, by the way. So the other way that you can, so some bots are just freestanding. So I have one that it's literally just written in Python, and then it pulls data from one of my data sources and places the trades. So there's different ways you can do it. It's a whole thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just like you're a futures trader and you run a bot. You would become an algo trader. It's another discipline. All right, y'all. I'll see you in the morning on the My Funded thingamajig, and I am trying to stream more on my own. I had to adjust to new schedules. It's been a little crazy, but we're getting there. So I will see you. I want to stream more next week during the arena. So if y'all don't know about the arena, come join me. It is at bullbarbie.link/arena. Totally free. I spelled that wrong. It's bullbarbie.link/arena. That'll get you to the free NinjaTrader competition. We're just doing a 3-day one next week. So just for fun and for money, technically. But we like trading, right? It's for fun. The pink charts calm your nerves. They calm mine too. I do have, well, yeah, these are all supposed to be pink. This one I keep saying I'm going to change, but I haven't. I don't know. All right, y'all. I will see ya soon when I see ya. Take care. Don't have my thing. Hang on. Bye, y'all.